Hey, welcome. So you want to lock your friends in a room and watch them scramble to solve puzzles? Well, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to break down how to design an amazing DIY escape room. And we're going to focus on the most important thing, making it super fun and not, super frustrating. Let's get into it.
This quote just sets the scene perfectly, doesn't it? The secret must be in this room somewhere. That's the magic right there. That feeling of mystery, of challenge, the promise that you can figure it out. That's what makes escape rooms so addictive. The idea that every single thing you need is hiding in plain sight.
And that's really the big question. Because, look, anyone can throw a few combination locks on some boxes. But to build an experience that feels clever and fair and leaves your friends feeling like geniuses, well, that takes a little more thought. It all boils down to knowing the difference between a fun challenge and just a really bad time.
Which brings us to our main villain, the frustration trap. Now, don't get me wrong, not all frustration is bad. Being stumped by a really smart puzzle, that's part of the fun. But there's another kind of frustration, a bad kind, that we as designers have to avoid like the plague. And this is so important to understand. When your players are just totally confused, it's almost never their fault. It's usually a flaw in the design. We're talking about bad frustration, which happens when things are just unclear. It forces players to just guess instead of actually using their brains to figure things out. It's the feeling of being lost, not because a puzzle is tough, but because the clues just don't make sense.
I love this breakdown because it gets right to the feeling of it all. Good frustration, that's what leads to that incredible aha moment where you feel like you just cracked the Da Vinci Code. But bad frustration, like trying the same number combo on 5 different locks, that just leads to that, finally, feeling of relief that the boring part is over. One is a victory, the other is just a chore.
And that example, guessing which lock a code opens, is probably the #1 mistake new designers make. So let's just tackle this thing head on. Honestly, this is the biggest and easiest fix you can make to immediately improve your game. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The experts are super clear on this. Making your players guess and check isn't a puzzle. It's just busy work, and it sucks all the fun and energy right out of the room. It is the definition of bad frustration, but thankfully it is incredibly easy to fix. Here are 3 dead simple, foolproof ways to connect your clues to your locks. 1. Color code them. Seriously, a little bit of nail polish on a key and a matching dot on the lock works wonders. 2. Use matching symbols. Put a little skull sticker on your clue and the same skull sticker on the chest it opens. Or, my personal favorite, just make it part of the story. A little note that says the code for the toolbox is 1234 leaves 0 room for confusion. Okay, so once you've stamped out all that annoying guesswork on the micro level, you can kind of zoom out and start thinking about the big picture. And that's what this section is all about, guiding the player's journey. It's all about the flow of your game.
The order that players solve puzzles in is a huge design choice. You can think of it like this. Are you building one single straight road for them to follow? Or are you building a whole city with streets going in every direction? It's a big deal because it changes how your group plays. So let's look at the 2 main ways to do it.
First up, you've got your linear design. This is basically a straight line. We solve puzzle A to get the clue for puzzle B, which you solve to get to puzzle C, and so on. This is awesome for smaller groups because it forces everyone to work together on the same problem. But, and this is a big but, be careful. If one puzzle is just a little too hard, the entire game grinds to a halt. Total bottleneck. The other option is a non-linear design. Think of it like an open world. You might have 3 different puzzle paths that can all be worked on at the same time. This is perfect for bigger groups, right? People can split up and tackle whatever looks interesting to them, and nobody gets stuck waiting around. The only catch is you need a really strong theme to make sure it all feels connected, and not just like a random collection of puzzles.
And that is the perfect lead-in to our final and maybe most important layer of your escape room. Because underneath all the locks and the puzzle flows is the real heart of the experience, the story you're trying to tell.
This right here is the magic ingredient. See, a great escape room isn't just a bunch of brain teasers in a room, it's an adventure. Your players aren't just solving for a 4-digit code, they're trying to defuse a ticking time bomb or find the pirate's hidden treasure. The story is the why behind everything they do.
This quote just nails it, right? Every single object you put in that room, a dusty old book, a weird-looking key, a cryptic photo, it's all a piece of the story. The fact that players can actually touch and hold these things is what makes the whole world you've built feel real. They're not just reading a story, they are a part of it.
So as you're designing, just keep asking yourself,
Why? Why is there a bike lock on this ancient pirate chest? Why is this clue written in invisible ink in a scientist's lab? When your puzzles make sense within your story, you create this totally immersive world that people are going to remember long after they've escaped.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's just boil it all down to the absolute essentials you need to remember to build an awesome, fun, not frustrating escape room.
So let's run through our 4 main pillars one last time. First, clarity is kindness. Remember that lock and key? Your job is to challenge people, not confuse them. Second, structure matters. Pick a path, linear or nonlinear, that actually fits your group size. Third, story is everything. Use a great narrative to tie it all together. And finally, and seriously, this one is so important, you have to test everything. You will only find those hidden frustrating moments by watching real people play your game.
Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You're giving these normal, everyday objects a secret life, a hidden purpose, a story. So as you go off to build your own game, just start with that one simple question. What story are your objects going to tell? Thanks so much for joining me.